Hey everyone, it's Unlikely Hero. So I'm going to be playing some more Monster Archer 2 today. So, just to recap, I am training Slimeson for his first tournament, which will hopefully, if all goes to plan... Sorry, I got distracted by something out the window. If all goes to plan, will be the one at the end of September. That's not set in stone. I'll kind of see where his stats are at that point. Like, if he is still regularly failing his drills like this, he might not be ready by September. As you can see, he is still failing quite often. As I said before, quite common for a baby monster, so that's alright. We will get there. One thing I wanted to check actually was whether battle is still his most hated thing, because if it is, as I said before, that could be a problem, given that the entire goal of this game is to fight. Okay, so just going to have a little look. So as you can see, he's 4 months old now. Time does go very quickly in this game. Okay, so he still dislikes battle. I think his nature has improved. I think his nature was neutral before, and as you can see now it's good. His form, which is normal, is actually how fat or skinny your monster is. A skinnier monster can dodge better, but will take more damage from hits. It works with the speed and defense stats, but just kind of is additional to it, but kind of, it's almost like an invisible stat. But if your monster is fat, it will be slower at dodging, but it will take hits better. So in my opinion, I would prefer my monster to have a normal form, ideally. So I'm going to give him a mint leaf. It's the rest week anyway, so he'll be resting in a minute so that he doesn't get too fatigued, but also this mint leaf will help to prevent him from becoming stressed, hopefully. Some breeds of monster are actually more prone to stress than others. There's various different aspects that are different with different breeds of monsters, and one of them is how likely they are to become stressed. They can have different life expectancies to begin with. As I said before, different things like stress, being injured and things like that will impact how long your monster lives, but there is also a sort of set lifespan to begin with that different breeds will have. Some monsters naturally have very short lifespans, and then if you run into trouble while you're raising them, that will lower it even more. I'm not convinced at this point that Slimeson is going to be ready for the tournament at the end of this month. I might enter it anyway, but I will probably have to be a bit careful because he is a very young monster and I don't want him to get injured. In fact, I'm just going to take a look at his stats again and just see what's happening, because I might have to push it back to the next season. Okay, so you quite regularly will receive mail in this game, and this particular one is about the errantry, which is a more intense type of training, whereas the drill is a 1 week activity. The errantry is actually 4 weeks. I pretty much never send my monster on errantry unless it's half price, because it is really expensive. And at the moment, it would be, I think, a bad idea to send Slimeson, because as I said, he's 5 months old, he isn't very strong yet, and the errantry is actually dangerous to send your monster on. While they can increase their skills a lot, and they can learn new techniques to use in battle, which is very helpful, it does come with a lot of risk of your monster getting injured, or even killed. Okay, yeah. Unfortunately, I am not going to enter the official tournament this month. I'm just going to continue training him, and I'll enter him in the next one, which, yeah, so end of December. We'll try that one, but for now I'll carry on giving him some training, because I just don't think at the moment he's ready. And as there is a risk of him becoming injured in the tournament, I would rather feel a bit more confident in his abilities before I enter him. Looks like I need to buy some more mint leaves. Mint leaf has to be my most commonly used item in this game. So I'll buy some more of those. I'm not sure what he's doing down there. So the other item that I will quite often buy, but probably won't at this early stage of the game, is the nuts oil. Which, as it says there, will help your monster to recover from fatigue. At the moment, I'm not going to worry too much about that. Oh, that's what that noise was. I was so confused then. There are quite a lot of different items in this game, but as I said, most commonly I will be using the mint leaf and occasionally the nuts oil. Some monsters, it's very common for them to ask you for items. Not all of them seem to do it that much. They'll do it on occasion, but there are some where it's like every time you try and do anything, every time you try and send it on a drill or anything like that, it will be like, oh, but I want some sweets. Those types of monsters, it's quite difficult not to spoil them, because it's quite often quite cute when they ask as well. Okay, so Slimeson is a little bit spoiled, but I don't care. I want him to be happy. So as I said before, at this early stage, and even later on, skill is a really good one to train up at least a bit, because it is the stat which determines how good your monster is at hitting other monsters in battle. So you can get by with a lower skill stat, but you tend to then want to be more hard hitting, so that when you do finally hit the opponent, you do massive damage to it. Whereas Slimeson doesn't have a huge amount of power, so his hits aren't going to do much damage, so I would prefer at this stage if he was very good at hitting the opponents, so that even if he is only doing a little damage each time, he is consistently doing damage. At a later point, I might train his power up a little bit more, because it is actually very, very low. And some monsters, when the power is low, they naturally have more intelligence, which is almost another form of power. Some attacks, their strength is determined by the intelligence stat rather than the power stat. In fact, I should probably check what moves Slimeson has, because as I said, I'm not very familiar with this breed. Slimeson, how did you get fat? Oh well, it's probably because he's a baby and he likes milk, but that's okay. Okay, so both of his attacks do rely on the power stat, so it would be ideal if later on I do increase it a bit, because otherwise he's going to struggle to do any damage, especially later on in the higher ranks of the tournaments. Okay, we are actually getting quite close to the next official tournament. So I'm still not convinced he's ready, but I think I will enter him anyway, just to see, because I could be being paranoid. I am hoping that we'll start to see more consistent success with the drills now. I feel like he is reaching the age where he... okay, maybe not. But I feel like he is reaching the age where it should start to even out a bit, and... oh, here we go, it's winter. This music is so Christmassy. I'm doing alright for money at the moment, but if it's too long before Slimeson is strong enough to win a tournament, I may have problems with running out of money and then not being able to feed him properly and things like that. Sorry, there was a van outside and I'm just hoping it's not for my house. You know, how dare anyone disturb me during my Let's Play videos? Oh, so close to levelling up that skill. Okay. So, it's the week before the official tournament now, so instead of training, I will give him rest instead. Because I think I am going to try entering him in the tournament, even though I don't think it's very likely that we'll do very well. But that's alright at this early stage. Oh, someone's at the door. Ah, okay. This is quite a good time for me to buy some more mint leaves. Especially at this early stage in the game where I'm going to struggle to gain any more money. So, while her shop has a discount, I will buy some more mint leaves. It's not a massive discount, but it's better than nothing. So I'll buy 3 more of those. Okay, so I will enter the tournament, but I'm going to do that in the next video because I'm coming up to my time limit. So I'll see you in the next video, which will be very shortly.